If these two things are consistent, you'll get consistent results. If they're not, you won't get consistent results. That's it. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're kickstarting our Black Friday sale, and we thought we would do something different. Instead of just going back and doing a normal video, let's just answer some questions you guys ask in the chat and on YouTube, and we'll be able to answer your questions, give you some advice, and have a bit of fun. So, like I said, we are kickstarting our Black Friday sale today. Our products and our programs are all on sale by a big discount. Check out the link below to see the details of that, and you'll be able to sign up with the program. If you've been wanting to join the program for some time, this is the right time because we have a big discount on all of the products. And I'm joined today with Anelo and Michael to answer some questions. So, what's up, guys? How's it going today?
Great, E. I'm looking forward to these questions. Sounds great.
Awesome. Good to see you here, of course. And we have a lot of questions, so let me just get started right now. And we'll keep the answers short, so they'll be really simple. But I look forward to see how we can give you some value and answer your questions. So the first question we had here was regarding field of vision. And we'll start with this because it's really basic. Field of vision was asking, could you give me a brief idea of your strategy? So let's begin with Michael. Do you want to share a brief idea of your strategy?
A brief idea of my strategy. Probably it's impossible, but really, I mean, what I try to do is mix of trend, chop. I try to have different strategies in different markets. So basically, I mean, really in a nutshell, trying to take advantage of trends in trend markets, different strategies for chop and chop markets. To have individual components of it, it's a little more detailed, but really, I'll keep it high level and say, have a strategy for each one and components that alert you for each strategy that takes place.
Awesome. And hello?
Yeah, well, I have a couple of strategies. One of them is the one that you use, the Bollinger Band reversal. But from the ones that I developed myself, I have one which is a trend following strategy for Forex, which is just simple moving average crossover and some additional rules in order to do exit and trailing stop loss on that. And the edge of that strategy comes not just from the basic moving average crossover, but from the filtering and the rules that are coming the exit strategy and the trailing of the strategy. And for crypto, I do have other strategies, but for now, since crypto markets are pretty trending, all of the strategies that I'm trading in crypto, which for now they are 7, I think, or 8 that are in the portfolio, they are all trend following. Sometimes something as simple as a breakout from a super trend or simple things like that, or a Bollinger Band breakout. So it's basically anything. It doesn't really matter much what's the entry or the exit. It matters more how you mix it with the market and how I'm filtering it with the market for the trailing or for the additional, like big picture filter. So it only takes trades when there is a good trend instead of just getting chopped up in the market. So I'm mostly a trend following trader due to that and algo trader. So everything is automated strategies in that sense.
Awesome. Good. So I primarily trade support resistance areas. So I trade zones and reversals mostly. I have 2 strategies, one for breakouts and one for reversals that I've talked about plenty on YouTube. You guys have probably seen that before. We'll put some links below for these strategies if you want to check it out. And that's what I trade. So basically, I look for ranges in the market, look for reversals or breakout at these ranges. And that's pretty much all I do. So quite simple. For crypto, it's a bit more price action, so less of indicators, but it's still the same principle. All right. Let's go on and answer a second question here. A good question here, and I'll ask Michael to answer this. Which is easier to learn and master between discretionary or systems trading, in your opinion?
Hard to master. For me personally, it was systems trading. Discretionary, I just, I'm a nuts and bolts grind kind of person where I'll spend hours and hours to just until I figure something out. Systems, I think there's other elements and other skill sets that are required that some people have and some people don't. I leaned more towards the discretionary side, but it takes a lot of time. It takes very little time to learn, but a lifetime to master. And for those who have the passion and put it into it, I think discretionary is certainly something that will help with the foundation to get you to other avenues, such as like systemic trading.
Awesome. Manalo, you have any thoughts on this? Any additional thoughts?
Yeah, I do think that systematic trading is something that almost everyone can feel like they can do, because you have rules and you have a clear way of entry, clear way of analyzing the things, and clear way of exit. So that helps a lot of people to do things. The problem with that is that we often don't follow the rules as we should. Our psychology or mindset makes it like, I don't feel like this setup is high quality, or we do not know how well we can filter that with those rules that we have set, how well we can filter the strategies. So I think that discretionary, especially like price action type of discretionary trading, is very appealing for people, because in the end, what you are making is that you are making the strategy and you are the determining factor if it works or not. So we tend to feel more confident or to feel like something works better if we are putting input into it, if we are maybe like mingling with it or having an effect on its output, instead of just executing a series of rules. So I think it has its place for different type of people. But for me, I think that having a mix of both parts, learning one and the other, it's really useful, because even for me as a mostly systematic trader, system trader with algos, having that background of originally starting as a discretionary trader helps a lot in getting ideas of, okay, I like this setup, but it's not that great, in terms of number statistics. How can I filter it more? I look at it with a discretionary view, and then I see, oh, I could filter it like this, and I can add more, more advanced, more complex stuff into a systematic trading, by having the, like viewing it from a discretionary point and then trying to reverse engineering it to the system. So I think both are important, but it depends on your style too.
Cool. Awesome. Next question we have here is regarding what year of your trading did you start to see results? So what year of your trading did you start to become profitable by cat drinking wine? Michael, you want to answer?
Yeah, sure. I mean, probably within the first early part of my second year, but probably in the fourth, it was at the fourth year, just a bunch of light bulb moments came out where I really just started to not just execute well, but just really embrace myself. And I really realized that the best thing I'm going to do to help improve my trading is make myself better. And once I had that mindset light bulb switch, it really just, I never looked back. So, first year kind of playing the game, early second year really started to get that like break even profitable thing. But again, it took about 4 years, and that's somewhat normal, and it should be expected for traders. When you think about it, you want to do this for a lifetime, investing that amount of time to really perfect your craft. It's very reasonable and certainly well rewarding.
Awesome. Now, my next question for fun is, what do you think made the difference? What was that aha moment that made the difference in you starting to see results in the fourth year?
Yeah, actually, I have a little sign right behind my computer screen. It says, "I don't care." And when I push that button, I'm a project guy trying to, be successful at my business. But I took the emotion out of everything. I said, you know what? I can't worry about stop outs. I can't worry about this. I have a plan. It's worked in back tests. It's worked when I execute it properly. But if I worry about every little thing, or I can't make this goal, or I can't, no, just execute the plan. Don't worry about it. I don't care. It changed the way I treat my business, and the results really improved after that. And I mean, we're humans. It's tough to be emotionless, but the less emotion I have in my job, the better my results are. Clear as that. So that was really the light bulb change. It was an emotional change I had to make.
Awesome. Cool. The next question here that we have for Alejandro is, what is your take on counter trend trading only, and why? So this is a question asked by 9 times 2021.
Well, for me, if you're going to do only counter trend trading, then actually with any type of trading, you need to find the right market conditions. Because if you're only going to be playing counter trend, then if you're in a strong trending market, you're going to get a lot of losses, or you are going to be targeting a really, really small profits. And you have to have a pretty wide stop loss, because you're in a strongly trendy market and you're trying to get reversals or only counter trends, then you will be hit a lot more. But if you are in a market that is much more ranging or much more volatile in terms of just hitting and reversing and that, then it's more likely that you're going to be perfectly fine and you're going to have success in that. So I think that for any type of trading, it's perfectly fine as long as you filter it adequately and you're applying it to the right market conditions. Because any strategy, even the best strategy in the world, will perform poorly in the wrong market conditions for that strategy. And at least in my personal experience, what separates a strategy that is okay to a strategy that is good may not be the different things or bells and whistles that it has, but it's really just filtering the setups that don't work and filtering away and just trading it when it's best in the market for that strategy to be traded. So I think that it's not more about looking at only trading one thing or another. It's more about like when you trade it. And I know traders that are successful just trading one single strategy or one single thing, but they know pretty well when that strategy works, and when it works, they press their luck and they press their edge as much as possible. And when it doesn't work, they just try to stay away from the market as much as possible, and just enter a bit when it's starting to change conditions, so they can maybe get early into the new market conditions that the strategy works.
So the key is finding the right market, so the right kind of environment for your setup. If you trade only one setup.
Yes, the key is to find the correct mix of strategy plus market conditions. Because I mean, if you're a trend trader, let's just take the example of Michael with his secretariat setup. If you're applying secretariat setup into a market which is always reversing or just volatile but choppy, then you're not going to have much success. But if you're applying that setup of any trading strategy into a market which is extremely strongly trading, strongly trending, then it's most likely you're going to have results. Even if you're applying a bad strategy, which is trend following, that on the long run it doesn't have a profit, it's extremely likely you're going to have some profits when the market is super strongly trending. So and the opposite way around, you can have a great strategy, but if you put in the bad market conditions, it's not going to work. It's not going to give you profits, and it's just going to have losses, either slowly losing or heavily losing, depending on the strategy.
Okay, awesome. Nice to explain. Next question here we have was regarding Windows. So I've done a video recently about the fact that I moved to a Mac again. I was using a Mac a few years ago. I bought a Windows computer after that to try and see how it would work. I was really pissed off about it, and now I'm going back to a Mac. So Kimo Quincy was asking, are you done with Windows? And I think I'm pretty much done with it. So I bought a Windows computer like pretty much a year and a half ago to be trying out to do some more backtesting, to more work with the algo, more stuff, and be more productive in trading. Because most platforms work with Windows better than Mac, and so I thought that would be a good idea. Turns out I had like a 3-hour battery maximum on my computer, a brand new computer, brand new Dell computer, 3 hours battery maximum. So I would go out to work, I would work maybe 2 hours and a half, then the laptop would die, then I'd be stuck there with like no chargers. I couldn't do anything after. So pretty much the experience was really bad for me. Because I was a lot less productive. Like if you don't have battery, you gotta go back to your apartment, connect your laptop to work, and that really is annoying. So I'm pretty much done with it. My MacBook now works wonders. So I have a 12-hour battery or more. So I could be out the whole day, the whole next day, and still have a lot of battery after, which is a big deal for me. So probably gonna stop with Windows for a while and go to a Mac and see how that works. But so far I've done more work in like 2 days than in the past 6 months. So that's a good thing.
On that part, I want to ask you the question that Manny Alali asked about, like, how about installing Linux on your XPS laptop to see if it works better, to see if it's just Windows being bad or if it's the laptop itself being bad.
Yeah, honestly, well, if it shouldn't be Windows because some laptops have a better battery life anyway. I think it's really the Dell aspect that was freezing all the time, that was like having issues. So my goal is not to like install different things and try different things. I really want to work and get things done. So I'm gonna have to spend a day to install this and like struggle with it. It's just not worth it for me. So
yeah, I was just asking that because I mean, whenever we talk about PCs, or when you talk about PCs, you have the people from like Apple saying Apple is crap or it's good or it's bad, and then you have people saying like, oh, everything is bad, just use Linux, and you do everything in Linux and that, and it's always interesting to see the fight,
But then you've got all your applications like the TradingView, the whatever MT4. I think they might have a version, but still that won't work. So you just end up being more in trouble then.
I think that the main thing is, you have to find something that works for you. For example, for me, I hate Apple. I can't do anything with a Mac computer except throwing it out the window into the recycling pile. I hate the company. I hate Apple. I hate the policy against right to repair, against people actually owning their devices. So I don't like that. But I also don't like Windows in the sense that they're just selling your data as any other tech company, and that. So I I have like a medium point in which I have Windows with all of the settings that have telemetry disabled, but I also have a normal laptop, and I have been lucky enough that this one is not bad, even though it's from Dell. But I also uninstalled everything that came from Dell. Like any software that is from Dell, I uninstalled it and I just kept it without that because
That helped a lot on my laptop to just take off all the things from Dell support SDS,
Yeah.
these kind of things. But even then, it was still bad. So.
yeah, like from your experience, I do not know if half of the bad experience you had at the beginning was because all of the probably badly software from Dell or the laptop itself. But yeah,
Yeah, it makes it both.
it is
yeah.
important to have a good trading tool, especially if it's like a word tool.
Yeah, especially
can-
if you're gonna travel with it and do things with it. So, Michael, we see about your computer. So, Michael, I want to hear your experience and your thoughts on this.
Well, when I walk into an Apple store, I think the lightning bolt hits my head, so I have to run the other way. So I just I'll trade off of anything, and it certainly has certain applications, but I don't get the Apple craze. It's been a while, and I just it's been years, and wife has an Apple phone, she loves it. So, but I don't understand all the different nuances and stuff. I just don't see the value, quite honestly. However, you love it. It works great. I will say this: outside of the trading world, there are applications that Apple just totally drops it. It's great. I love it. But I'm happy with my regular PCs, my laptop, my Dells. I do presentations on them and everything. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'll stick with that.
We gotta go back to some serious question now. So we have a question here from JGFXOTG, who was asking about what does it mean when people say the markets are always evolving? Does that mean that my strategy won't work long term? How exactly do you deal with that? So, Michael, you want to go ahead?
It's a good question. It's a fair question in the sense that yes, possibly. All right, but I always that certain strategies won't continue to work. Certain things happen in the market. Certain even things like one strategy I had didn't work because the way the exchange fed the data in clumps changed the way I would scalp. It's just a lot of little things you got to be on top of it. But I would focus more on, and this is like more of a new example, is how not just how markets change, but how things get introduced. New markets occur, such as like in crypto, in a sense, where it opens up a whole new opportunity. So rather than look at, am I worried about my strategy not working, for the long term, keep your eyes. I think the lesson or the answer to the question I can best, provide value to is look at how markets are changing, how things are changing, but also it's such a fast-paced world now where different markets are opening. So kind of just have an open mind to all these things and be sort of product indifferent. So, maybe you have a strategy in, equities or FX. Will they work in crypto? I don't know. But, have that open mindset so you can be able to be flexible and, give it a shot. In my trading plan this year, the word crypto wasn't even in it. And now we're mid-November? Some of my crypto trades have been the most profitable all year compared to my other ones. So that's where, I have to be flexible in learning that.
Now, next question is it the same thing for algos, or is it different with algos? Like some people think and believe that algos work for a few months and you got to turn them off and kind of have a new algo after. Is that true, or is that something that kind of can still work long term with the same algo? Alejandro.
Well, you could look at it from the point of view of if you look at some of the oldest like indexes or like funds that are in the traditional markets, many of them have strategies which you could say that they are algo based because it's okay. You rank all of the stocks in the market by the last month's profit or loss, and the ones that have the biggest profit or the biggest loss, then that's what you short or long the next month for the next month. And you have seen there are several indexes or several strategies like that in the traditional markets that have been going on for 20, 30 years without any change. They may have been small changes, but not really any big change. So you can see it from that point of view and say, yes, things can work for a long time. You could also have an algo and then backtest it over the past, 50, 30 years of data, and it can be profitable. So does that mean that, because it worked in the past 30 years, does that mean that's working long term? Or is that just data mining or something else? So I always think that it's more about that, you have the things and you put it like that, but it's more like the market nuances changes, the different characteristics of the market changes, the smaller things. So you have to have strategies that are able to either adapt to those things, or you have to be adapting the strategies by updating. In my personal experience, strategies with certain specific settings. So let's say you have the same strategy and you're just changing the settings of your moving average or of your take profit, stop loss, or different variables. They will tend to drop off after some time, yes, but you will be able to potentially use the same strategy, just changing some of those variables, changing some of those, like stop losses, sizes, things like that, to adapt to different market conditions, and you will still be profitable. But in the end, in my personal experience, I have never been with a strategy so long that it just drops off completely, because as a trader you tend to be always trying to improve, you're always wanting to find better ways to do things. So in my personal experience, I always have a newer, better version of the strategy with maybe either a more advanced filter or some other factors ready before I even get to the point of the strategy dropping off and like being completely disregarded in my portfolio. So in my experience, yes, strategies tend to drop off after some time, but it's more about kind of like Michael said, like it's not the strategy just stop working by itself. It's more like that strategy applied in that a way, it stopped working for this market or for this instrument, and you have to reapply it in a different way. So it's kind of like the part of the market conditions. You have to adapt. You have to be able to filter the strategy to the market conditions that are better suited for it. So it's kind of like the same. I feel like in theory, if you had a strategy that you are able to adapt to volatility and to different things, and you're already able to filter it like that, you could potentially put it in data from today or data from 20 years ago, and it will still work without any problems. So that would be something that could be more likely able to continue working for the future. Granted, it may not trade that much during some times because there may be long periods of times in which market conditions are not good for it at all. So that's kind of like
Awesome. Good answer. Here we have a question that I really love because it's both trading improvement and organization quite a bit. So the question from Avono is, I'm starting to realize that working harder doesn't necessarily lead to the same outcome for my P&L on the Forex market. So you might work really hard, but you don't get an improvement in results in P&L. Do you have any tips on how to work smarter? What things did you implement to help find those 1% improvement? Michael, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, it's actually one of the key things that we focus on, in the academy, especially for the newer ones who are just getting started and they're having that frustrating things. One is, the identification process of why is this happening? What is going on? It's pretty complex, but really look in not just data, results, journaling things. A lot of traders don't even do those things to identify certain things from those sources. So we kind of get you going into that. But what I also like to do when I have my one-on-ones and coaching calls is I'm listening for what's going on in their personal situation. What's going on? Has anything changed with them? A lot of times we'll find out it's not the strategy. It could be just something maybe that's hindering their execution or their confidence, something like that. So, but that whole risk identification process is a fascinating dynamic. It's a great question. That's really where coaching comes in, and we focus a lot of that, in our academy and our students to make sure they can get over that hump. Because I'll tell you this: once you do, you really see that light at the end of the tunnel, and now we can really focus on building the equity curve, getting funded. And moving on to really hitting your goals. But that's certainly a big challenge for sure.
The other thing I have to point out is the fact that you need to understand what is like producing results in trading. So researching strategies all day on YouTube or any blog doesn't lead to results. Trading live without backtesting doesn't lead to any results. So there's a few things in trading that kind of leads to results. So for me, it's like talking to traders, meeting other people who are in the same industry. It's connecting with other people. It's researching things that will help you get results now. So things you're struggling with right now. Let's say you have like a really bad win rate. Like find out ways to improve your win rate. If you have a really bad reward to risk, like a really bad overall return in trading, find out ways to increase that. So if you search these specialized things, then you're more likely to get results compared to how to get profitable in trading or how to succeed in the market. Like that's really general. So sure you can get some advice on this, but it's too general for anything that you can apply for yourself and get results with. I think that's a big part of it. And of course, being in a group of traders, as mentioned, with the academy or with any other products we have, we're big in the community aspect, being around people who do the same thing you want to do, and learning from those people, connecting with these people over the long term. So check out the link below for these programs. Now you might have joined the academy. That's our big program, but we have other programs that are smaller and more focused on different things that you can benefit from. And these are linked below. So they have all the big discounts with their Black Friday sale anyway. So thank you, Michael, for the answer. That was a really good answer. The next question we have here is for Alejandro, and that's a similar question to what we just answered. Timothy on Instagram was asking, I've been trying to trade now for 3 years with no luck. Is this normal, or am I just a bad trader?
That's a good, really, really good question. I'm trying to see how to answer it. Like my biggest problem with this question is I don't have enough information to know, what did you do? And as Michael answered in the previous question, and also one thing that I want to expand into, mixing both questions, it's what you do is pretty important. As Etienne mentioned, you may be watching videos on, like how to get profitable and things like that, but that does not get you to profitability, and that may not be getting you results. So what have you been doing those past 3 years? You said you have been trading for the past 3 years, but have you been practicing? Have you been just looking at the charts, or what did you do? Because there is a big difference between working hard and just, like reading stuff and doing stuff without any clear direction or without any like clear path versus working hard but with a clear path. Many people say that you should work smarter instead of harder in some of the things, but in trading, in the end, it doesn't matter how smart you are doing the things, you have to actually execute. So if you are skipping you are doing everything else good, but you are not actually playing single trades in the market and executing, then you are not really getting to the point of like passing to that. So I would say for this specific question, there is not enough information to answer the question properly. But I would ask you more questions. What have you been doing during these past 3 years? Have you been focusing on the right things, or have you been passing for different systems, not really trading as something that you believe in? Or did you maybe started trading different strategies without even having a foundation, without even knowing the basics and practicing the basics, so you can start getting more knowledge and more evolved reasoning as you are practicing or trying different strategies to see how it works for you? Or did you just start trading something, it worked for a few months, and then it stopped working for a couple of months or for another weeks, and you stopped trading it, and then you went to something else? Because depending on what you have done, it's, if it is normal because you are taking maybe the wrong steps, or you are taking steps that are not taking you further away and closer to success, or it may be that there are other factors in which, it may be better to just stop trading in that case. So there's not enough information in the question there to answer it. But it's more about look at what you have been doing and ask yourself, have I been doing the things that matter and that are taking me closer to profitability? Or have I just been taking things that take me into a loop of a failure by itself? Because it doesn't matter how hard you work or how hard you do things. If you're in a loop of failure and you keep doing the same things, you're just going to keep failing. But if you take that energy and you apply it into a correct process, into more guided or a better process, then you have much more higher chances of success. And then in that point, then you will be able to determine maybe it's just a personality or something that doesn't work for trading, and I'm not willing to change that to apply to trading, instead of I just spent 3 years changing strategy every 3 months because something didn't work, and then you basically start 3 months development, then reset, and then 3 months, and then reset. So you're not really going to get really far away in a race if you have to go back to the beginning line every single time you trip or you stop running at the correct speed or something like that, right?
Yeah, and ultimately in trading, there's like three parts that really matter, like your strategy, your risk management, and your execution or your mindset, you could call it. So if all three are good, you'll be profitable and consistent. But if one is missing, then you have a problem. So Michael is good to talk about risk management. He's like the expert in this topic. He wrote a book about it. So if you want to learn that part, you have to go to Michael for this for sure. But then there's like the execution part and the strategies. Is the strategy profitable and proven to be profitable or not? And is your mindset or execution proper? So do you take the right trades in the market? And then do you have the right risk management, which you can learn from Michael in the future, of course. Okay, so next question we have here is regarding, this is a video that Michael did a while ago regarding his Hakenashi strategy in the futures market. And someone was asking, this is RD Apple was asking, is this strategy working also with Forex or is it a different thing? So Michael, you want to answer?
Yes, I mean it's really the beautiful thing about some of these tools and Hakenashi that you mentioned, and thanks for that nice comment on the video. It's really product indifferent. I really try to be product indifferent. I trade a chart, whether it's FX, futures, or natural gas. I mean, I'll trade it pretty much the same way based on the context of the market. So a trending environment, I'm going to have certain strategies, and reversion to the mean, chop environments, I'll do it the same way. But whether it's, again, like oil or Euro USD, I'm going to trade it pretty much the same way with my given risk parameters. And Hakenashi, that's the beautiful thing about that tool. I don't use a lot of indicators, but that tool kind of smooths that variance out, and it applies to anything. So the answer is yes, and yes. And my trade journal, if you look at it, it's all over the map as far as product. So it doesn't bother me. And I know we have a huge FX audience, but and it works really well, particularly on the liquid pairs. But I've used it in so many different arenas, including options, and I just love it. It's and thanks for the nice words. And it's been a nice, profitable baby for me for several years now.
Awesome, very nice. Next question we have here is, and for this question, please answer with like one sentence. We'll have a sentence from each of us, just one sentence, like one piece of advice from each of us. And the question is, how to be consistent in trading? From Emilio on Instagram. So how to be consistent in trading? Anna, you want to start with one sentence, please?
Yeah, I was thinking of stealing your sentence, which you always say in the videos, but I will let you I will let you have your own sentence. So I would say that it's all about execution and doing the right thing. If you are trading consistently, as in if you are doing the actions that are taking you into execution in your trading correctly, then you are going to have consistent results. If you are having your strategy and you are trading it correctly, you're going to have consistent results. The results may not be profitable or unprofitable, but that's just because if you're trading a strategy, if you're executing it properly, then it works. I think it's pretty much the same because we all think similarly or the thing. So sorry if it's too similar.
Yeah, that was a long
sentence,
answer. But that's fine. That's good. Awesome. Michael.
Mine will be really short. How's that? Follow the plan. I mean, we'll help you create the plan, perfect it, make sure it has an edge. Simple answer. Follow the plan.
Awesome. Well, we've covered this before, but strategy, risk management, and mindset. If these two things are consistent, you'll get consistent results. If they're not, you won't get consistent results. That's it. Okay, cool. Now we get to our serious question of to end the video with. So this is a serious one. So Michael, you'll be answering this one. This is a question on the video you posted about. I believe we were in Florida when we did that video, and it was something about we were at the beach or something. So Kit was asking here on YouTube. Problem of the day: which beach to go to this morning? The second one: should I order a American or latte coffee? Good problems to have. Michael, you want to show your thought process for how you decide which beach to go to and what to do with your day that day?
Love it. Well, Caribbean's my favorite beaches. Anything in the Caribbean, I love it. St. Kitts, Nevis, bring it on. Aruba, one of my favorites, especially with the breeze. My second home, Daytona Beach. The beautiful sand in the morning. Etienne, we've walked those many times where just Beautiful. And it's actually pre-market. It gives you a good mindset. Now, coffee, really important. I'm going Canadian on this one. I'm going Tim Hortons. Okay. Love it. Regular blend. None of that fancy, heavy Starbucks stuff. Give me your traditional Tim Hortons. I'm all over it. Makes my day. There's your answer.
Awesome. I guess a good answer, but we definitely had to know. So thank you guys. Of course, this has been good. Thank you for answering your questions, and I hope you guys get some value out of it. Of course, on YouTube, and check out the links below for the Black Friday sale. We'll be having this for a few more days now. It's gonna close on Monday, so I believe it's the 29th on Monday, and all the products are on sale. So check it out with the link below. Or if you're already watching this on the page, just scroll down. You'll see this right there, and we'll catch you back here in next video pretty soon. Thank you guys as always, and I'll see you soon.